everyone, it's Tim again here. I just finished another shift at a Tusculum University, and I was just thinking this time about Samson. A lot of people like to blame Delilah for what happened in his downfall, but I cannot help but wonder, what if the entire reason he was in that situation is actually because he saw himself? Think about it. First off, he marries a Philistine woman just because he likes the way she looks. That's actually what the Bible says. His parents tried to talk him out of it, and his only thing he says is, "She looks good in my eyes." And then what does he do? He completely abandons her. Pretty much like he's feeding his own desires, just like Delilah's feeding hers. On top of that, Samson can't really stay out of brothels, which means he's sex-driven, which Delilah used sex and manipulation, which once again Samson was very manipulative himself, to try to take him down and getting to tell his secret. So that's the main thing. If you see a man and you want to know more about what he's really like, take a good look at the woman he's attracted to. 90% of the time, the reason why he's attracted to her is she's really just a reflection of him. And at the same time, if you ask Mark Driscoll what Samson's problem was, he would have said that what caused his downfall was bitterness, which I do agree. I think that is correct, but only partially. If you look at Samson, he is a very prideful, like I said, he is manipulative, and he's sex-driven. There's someone else in the Bible that is defined by these traits, and her name is Jezebel. Now, a lot of times, the spirit of Jezebel is described as a woman's trait. A lot of people say, "Oh, don't do that, she has the spirit of Jezebel." Here's the thing. Spirits, where a lot of times are identified after the person they affected the most, actually do not care what gender you are. As we see with Absalom, this spirit, the Jezebel spirit as we call it, can just as easily affect a man as it can a woman. And I have multiple videos explaining what happened with Absalom and why that's actually the most tragic story in the Old Testament. But at the same time, like I said, Samson wants control. Samson is driven sexually, majorly. And even to the point to where he'll ignore God, blatantly break his rules, things like killing a lion and then eating honey out of a dead corpse, which was against the Nazirite vows. And then we have, out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. You know what he was doing when he came up with that poem? First off, he was plaster drunk. Second, this was also gambling. If the Philistines got it right, he would give them 30 clothes, and if they got it wrong, they would give him 30 clothes. And we know the story. They go to his wife and ask him what the answer to it is, and she tells him, which he then gets angry, goes out and murders 30 people and robs them of their clothes, which only goes to show my point that there's something besides bitterness going on here. But there is a few things we can learn from Samson. His pride And even to the point to where when he kills the Philistines, he asks to die with them, which I believe once again came from a spot of pride, because if he dies with them, that makes him a martyr, and that cleans every wrong thing he did off of the slate. Like I said, we do need to pay attention to Samson, because if we're not careful, we could go the same way. And we do need to pray that God keeps us in humble and keeps us in his direction. That's all I really have this time. Bye.